Another year, another Dragon Ball Z game. Returning for another round is Spike along with Namco Bandai for Ultimate Tenkaichi. By the name, you can tell that they're aiming for this to be the ultimate, well, Tenkaichi game, if not ultimate Dragon Ball Z game, period. But it's far from that. Were they finally delivering features and much more that fans have been asking for years, developer Spike breaks the most important mechanic of the game, the fighting. Ultimate Tenkaichi's release was pretty much crowded with the big hype for the game's edition of Hero Mode, where you can basically do what the fans have been asking for since Budokai 2, which is create a character. But since they still think that it's a smart decision to make fans who've probably played the known Dragon Ball Z story over 10 years now over and over to unlock characters, we of course have to talk about the story mode, sadly.
What are you talking about?
The game retells the story mode starting with the fight between Bardock and Frieza before Goku is sent to Earth, till the very end of the Buu saga. In addition to this, you get some of the movie battles as well as the Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta and Omega Shenron battle in GT. That's the only GT battle that's in this game. While the game does a great job of narrating the full story of Dragon Ball Z through game battle, conversations, and more, the overall presentation of what actually happens in the anime is completely different than the actual story. The game does a bad job of translating the key events that happen in the anime into the story mode. You hear all the right audio and words they say, but what you visually see is far from what really happened. It's just a cheap imitation.
Trunks, take care of your mother.
Dad, what do you mean?
Go, take cover somewhere far from here. I'll fight Majin Buu by myself. Trunks, I've never hugged you ever since you were a baby.
What are you doing, Dad? Quit it! You're embarrassing me!
Trunks, stay strong.
The biggest plus, I suppose, about the story mode is that it does do some HD remaster scenes from the anime to make up for this. It'll have fans drooling from the seats on how fantastic it looks to see their ancient series touched up. The story mode has minigames which feel completely unnecessary. They are so easy that you might as well not even have them there. The story modes do include battles versus giants, which will play like a minigame where you dodge, fire, and click the buttons on the screen to trigger quick time events that further damages the enemy. It's kind of similar to the huge scale of the Naruto games that CyberConnect 2 puts out on the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. You can fly around the world map searching for battles, items, and Dragon Balls like in Budokai 3, but overall everything is super linear and easy to find that is just really straightforward, so the free flying feels kind of an unnecessary and cheap gimmick. As far as the story goes, I'm not sure why these developers even bother with it anymore. It's known, milked to near death now, and no one wants to play it anymore. Alright, moving on to the most important and sadly the most disappointing area of the game, the gameplay itself. The game completely throws you off with the name Ultimate Tenkaichi, but heads up, the gameplay is nothing like the previous Tenkaichi games on the PlayStation 2. The gameplay is pretty much based on two areas of attack, melee range and blast range attacks. In either range, rush attacks and smash attacks are your only two means to attack. Rush attack decreases your opponent's ki, which is used for defense, and smash attacks increase your spirit meter, which is used to pay for super and ultimate moves. You can no longer just charge up your ki and fire away special attacks. Spike said this was their way to stop spammers, but in reality this was their way to lose a lot of fans from ever purchasing a Dragon Ball Z game again. There's only one real attack button and then one button to break guard. Once you hit your opponent with a full melee string, you both play rock, paper, scissors to decide whether the attack will continue or not. At this point, you choose whether to continue with rush or smash attacks. There's actually no combo system in this game at all. No unique fighting styles amongst the characters. In fact, you could even say that there's no fighting period. It's all scripted, dice games that require no skill at all, just luck. Attacks are divided into 4 sections for which you may choose up, down, left, right, or center, plus rush, smash attack, button to perform different attack animations. Essentially, the only difference between each animation may be some damage, more spirit energy, or more ki deducted from the opponent. There's also quick time events between each single choice, which honestly you get tired at looking at once you see them for the billionth time. There's no way to turn them off or go around it either. All characters share the exact same melee moves and play exactly the same way. Their fighting styles look different, but essentially you can always click the same buttons to attack for all of them. The game could have had every character in the Dragon Ball universe, and it still wouldn't have mattered since they all play the same. Overall, the game does a very bad job of really making you feel like you are immersed in a massive scale Dragon Ball Z battle because you barely do anything on the actual controller. The simple kid-like level gameplay may be fun for people just looking for a good time, but for anyone looking for a real competitive game that requires skill, you're better off skipping this one as the gameplay is too repetitive, restricted, and requires select to win at oftentimes. Skip this game if you want something competitive, but if you are a truly hardcore fan of the anime and can overlook the obvious flaws, and I mean some serious flaws of this game, then the game can at least be rented. Once you have unlocked everything in hero mode and completed all the trophies or achievements in this game, which should take you less than 2 weeks, you really have no reason to keep playing the game. Sure, you can battle online and keep creating different heroes, which you are limited to 3 by the way, but eventually the repetitive battle system, which has a certain reliance on luck, will bore you. I grew up on Dragon Ball Z, so it'll always have a place in my heart, but it's clear now Spike no longer knows what to do with the Dragon Ball Z franchise and should probably let someone like CyberConnect 2 get a hand at it. Or maybe it's just time to stop making Dragon Ball Z games altogether. We got systems like the 360 and the PlayStation 3, yet these games can't do things previous developers were doing 6 years ago on the PlayStation 2. Kinda crazy. Thanks for watching, comment, rate, and of course subscribe. Catch you all later.